Yes, joined NSA in 1976. He's a CSP, CPAE, past president, Cavitt Award winner, my good friend, Jim Cathcart.
Louisville, Kentucky. They held the meeting in the rodeo arena. In the middle of the rodeo arena was a stage about back where the last row of this room happens to be, and all around it was earth-moving equipment. And I'm brought in as the keynote speaker. So I said to the meeting planner, how do I enter? You know, will I be on stage when they, you know, what's going to happen? He says, Larry, yeah. He says, here's Larry. So Larry walks up, yeah, I'll be your driver. Okay, so I go with Larry, and now, by the way, the audience is way over there. You know, I can tell there's an audience, I just can't tell how many or what they look like or anything like that. So I go with Larry. We wander back to one of the ramps to the rodeo arena where we meet his monster truck. 3 stories tall. And I said, you have a lift? He said, no, climb the wheel. So I put my feet on, grab the hub up, finally get there, get into the cab, settle myself in. We hear the introduction starting in the distance. And it's one of these, keynote speaker, and it echoes through the whole place. And Larry goes, and flames shoot out of this thing, and we come roaring out of this ramp. We're throwing a rooster tail of dirt. We go past the stage intentionally, get to the other end of the field, up on 2 wheels, turn around and come back. He stops in front of the stage and says, okay. And I say, okay, what? The stage is like this big. And he said, jump. I got on wingtips. I'm wearing a suit. So I open the door. What the heck? The show bus, right? So I jump to the stage, and I hit it, thank heavens, and slide around a little bit. And then I get my composure, and I say, good morning. And I try, my best. And it was, I didn't get injured by the audience. But clearly, the most memorable part of that day was Larry's monster truck, not the keynote speaker. Man, I tell you, then one time
Tough entry. That's a tough entry.
It was. That was tough. But there was another time I was in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I was speaking in a room about this size, had about 600 people in the audience, banquet keynote. And during the middle of my keynote, this big lumberjack in a Mackinac with a beard comes stumbling drunk into the room and decides he can kick our ass, his words. So he yells it out, I can kick your ass. And this is going on, and I realize I'm the guy in charge. I got the mic. I wouldn't want to be in charge, but, if you got the mic, you're the guy. So I said, sir. What? Sir, up here. And he looks at me. I wouldn't have said this if he'd been close. I said, are you talking to me? He said, yeah, I could knock it, and he goes on with his claim. And I said, that's probably true. I said, I need some volunteers, please. I need 8 large men to stand. All right, 2. All right, we need 6. All right, 3, 5, 2 more. Thank you. 8 men, please stand, remain standing. Would you gentlemen help him locate the exit from this room? And they all kind of converged around him, and he quickly, decided the exit was more attractive. Went out into the lobby. There was a woman cop on duty. She put him on his knees, handcuffed him, and they hauled him away. Man. So,
but you had the mic and you're in command.
That's the whole point. Yeah. What did we learn, children? If you've got the mic, you're in charge. For example, no, this isn't as easy a segue, but here's the story. I talked to the meeting planner, and I said, I'd like to know what's going on just before my speech. And he said, man, it doesn't matter what's going on before your speech this year. Just be glad you weren't here last year. And I said, well, why? He said, come here, I'm going to show you a video. And he had, remember VHS videos? He plugged one in, and he showed me last year's opening act. Last year, this is a moving van company, and they had their franchise owner from all over the country or all over the world, I don't know, come to the meeting. And there was this one little woman, we'll call her Miss Brown, and she came to the meeting and she said, you know, I've been a franchise owner for 23 years and I've never been to the annual meeting. And I understand it's always a big deal and it's a wonderful experience. Where should I sit? He said, right here. You sit right here, front row center. We've got you the best seat in the house. Isn't that sweet? So she sits down. And he comes out and he announces, ladies and gentlemen, our theme for this year is Big Top. We're going big or going home. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to blow the doors off of this place. We're going to make sales like never before. Welcome my assistant. In comes a full-size elephant. Honest to gosh, full-size elephant. And they've got visqueen down, you know, the plastic sheeting on the floor. The elephant comes out onto the floor, stops at its appointed spot, and decides it's time to do number 2.
They were prepared. They were prepared. They had the visqueen.
Yeah, the visqueen, everything's fine, until it also decides it's time for number 1, which ricochets off of number 2. You're just mean. I love that. Oh, so 1 ricochets off of number 2, and everybody's going, oh, so Jumbo decides it's time to dance. The entire first 3 rows could have been named Mrs. Brown. That is an act none of us can follow. Man, one time I was speaking of evacuations, I was in Washington, D.C. I was speaking in a hotel, the Hyatt Hotel, as a matter of fact, downtown on a Sunday in the winter. And the weather was okay outside. It wasn't bitter cold, but it was the winter and Sunday, and that part of town was basically deserted. But we're in the hotel, and we got 700 accountants in the room, and I'm doing my seminar, and it was back in the days of slides. Remember carousel slide projectors? And had one of those set up out in the middle of the room on prongs. And there we are, 3 levels below the street, and I advance one of my slides, and there's this poof. And the slide projector just goes up in smoke. And the audience laughs. Ha, neat trick. You know, they thought it was part of the act. And then the fire alarms start going off. The lights flashing everywhere.
Electrical problem.
And I said, ladies and gentlemen, that's not part of the act. I don't know whether this is real or not real, but I do know that it's not worth taking a chance on. So would the people on this side of the room please follow me through that door over there? The people on this side of the room exit through the rear doors and go up the escalator. The elevators are not to be used during this. So I'll see you at street level. Follow me. By the way, don't use those doors over here or over here. They lead to an inner hallway that just wraps all the way around and sends you back there anyway. So I evacuated the room because I'm in charge. I got the microphone.
But you knew the exits.
You know why?
Why?
1982 at the NSA convention, which I was chair of, as a matter of fact, in Chicago, we had a fire marshal who had become a speaker, and he was doing one of our sessions, and he said, by the way, if you're the one with the mic, you need to know where the exits lead. By the way, those exits over there lead to an inner hallway. You'll end up in the kitchen. That one and that one is your way out of this room if you need to, okay? So anyway, I had evacuated this group, got them up to ground level. 5 hours we're outside the hotel. So I said, well, I got nothing going on. You got anything to do? Nope. So I assembled the entire group on the steps of a neighboring building and did an a cappella seminar out in the open air. Got the best client recommendation letter I've ever gotten in my life and got further business from that. You know, one time I was in Kansas City and I was speaking to a group of greeting card executives and franchise owners, and it was a 3-hour seminar, and I was about 2 hours into the seminar and just before time to take the last break, and maybe 20 minutes between me and the break, if that. And all of a sudden, all the lights went out. Every light in the room. There wasn't a glow. It was pitch black. And I said, would someone near a door please open it to get us some ambient light? And someone else, would you please run and see if this is an evacuation emergency or if it's just simply a power problem, because my mic was still working. And they opened the door, someone went out, they came back, they said, nope, no need to evacuate, they're gonna put the power back on in a minute. I said, ladies and gentlemen, we can do one of two things. We can go out in the hallway and we can loiter and then come back together, or I can finish this seminar right now in the dark. What do you vote for? They voted for the dark. I did the balance of my seminar in pitch black. And again, a testimonial letter that brought a lot of future business. Now, what do we learn from all this, children? What we learn from all this
Keep us in the dark. Keep us in the
Yes.
dark.
is that if you're in a monster truck, recognize that Larry is a bigger part of the show than you are. And you better have some seriously good strategies for dealing with the contrast between that one and yours, okay? Also, if you're in the position where a lumberjack comes in the room, no matter how big this microphone is, you're not bad enough to overcome the lumberjack. Ask for help. When there's an elephant in the room, you got to talk about it, but for heaven's sakes, don't sit in the first 3 rows. And when you're in the room and the room's got to be evacuated, remember, you need to know in advance how to get out of that room. And sometimes you have to do it all in the dark.